I don't have much time. Ethan trusted you.
I received the call 10:36 this morning.
Any idea who this man is? Why he called you?
No, sir.
Where is former Agent Thomas?
We're not sure. It's been 11 months since his suspension.
He was cleared of those charges.
Right. Nevertheless, he resigned from the agency shortly after and basically disappeared. Probably passed out in some gutter.
Unlikely. A man like that doesn't just lie down quietly. Okay. Let's find Mr. Thomas and bring him in.
Gather around the table and watch me rock like the cadaver of a stinking whore.
It's for you. Says his name's Malcolm Van Horn. Right, but if he calls again, I'm hanging up. Some fucking answering machine.
What a stinking drunk he is.
Get out!
Bring it back home now, yeah.
Now.
Gotta stop her every day of the week. I got
That's me, Ethan Thomas. Drunk, tired, and pissed off. Why? Because this damn city's too fucking blind to see what's killing them. But I can. I've seen the unspeakable. It's out there. I have a feeling we're about to get better acquainted.
Welcome back to McKiLL TV. If you're familiar with this channel, you know we cover survival horror games, most of which we look back on in these retrospective videos. And also, if you're familiar with this channel, you know that in our last video we covered Condemned Criminal Origins. So here, we're going to be taking a look back at the sequel, Condemned 2, Bloodshot.
Ignoring that call from Van Horn was foolish and you know it.
Condemned 2 Bloodshot is a continuation of Ethan Thomas's story from the original game. Here in the sequel, the game makes some minor changes to the gameplay. Most importantly, the combat system. Here the developers made the combat controls even more player-friendly than the original. Ethan can now perform combos on enemies, as well as the ability to throw objects and weapons, unlike the previous game. Ethan can also punch with both fists, so that he is no longer defenseless without a weapon. In fact, the combat is so much more defined here, it actually makes the game much easier when compared to the first game.
What's happening?
Ethan is much more capable here. Also, weapons such as firearms are much more common than the first game, with the player not only finding more guns lying around than before, but will also come across ammo drops. But that being said, melee combat is still the main focus of the game. Developers also added environmental finishing moves, so that when finishing off enemies, Ethan can now use objects in his environment when taking out an enemy. And further into Condemned 2's story, Ethan will discover he has the ability to use his secret power, if you will, as it is revealed later on that Ethan can emit a high-level frequency with his voice that will come in handy near the end of the game.
Let him go.
You'll also quickly notice differences in the game's main characters, as Ethan and Rosa not only look completely different here in Condemned 2, but they also sound much different, as new voice actors were brought in. Condemned 2 is more story-driven than the previous title, and focuses more on this as the game overall. It is much more cinematic than the original, with much more cutscenes that occur before and after much of the chapters in the game. Condemned 2 Bloodshot was met with mostly favorable reviews across all platforms, with many players and critics praising the upscale in graphics, sound, and overall atmosphere, and found it to be much more improved all around than the previous game.
Help us locate and identify Malcolm Van Horn. Nothing more. Understood?
What the hell's your problem, Dorland?
You're a drunk and a liability.
Condemned 2, once again developed by Monolith Productions and published by Sega, just like the first game, and was released on Xbox 360 and PS3 console in the spring of 2008.
Okay, let's try and make an ID.
But due to its violent nature was banned in Germany in October of the same year. The game is technically a psychological survival horror game, and it does focus more on horror elements more so than the original, with Ethan experiencing much more supernatural occurrences than before. The game does manage to have some really scary moments, and the game builds on this with good atmosphere and nice level design. Crime scene mechanics make a return here, just like the previous game, but they are much more detailed, forcing the player to actually be more involved this go around. The player will have to pick which forensic tool to use depending on the crime scene, and will also have the ability to choose a response to Rosa's questions. This, though, however, is my least favorite change to the gameplay, because in certain chapters this can become tedious and annoying. I much prefer the original game's take on the crime scene scenarios. Once again, Ethan, working alongside Rosa and Dorland of the SCU, will find himself in many condemned, abandoned buildings within the city, with many thugs, vandals, and supernatural beings seemingly going insane, just like the previous title. As we can see, following the events of the first game, Ethan Thomas has resigned from the SCU and become a violent alcoholic who has become an unhinged version of his previous self. But after learning of Malcolm Van Horn's murder, he agrees to help the SCU once again to uncover the truth. In Condemned 2, Ethan is voiced by Andre Sugilizio. Sorry if I butchered that. As the story unfolds, we see Ethan suffers from horrific hallucinations that increasingly get worse throughout the game. But under the orders of Director Farrell, Ethan is recruited back to the SCU under the command of antagonistic character by the name of Agent Dorland. Agent Dorland immediately comes off as a shady character who isn't to be trusted, as he antagonizes Ethan while also making his feelings towards Ethan known from the jump. The mysterious phenomenon causing insane violence and mass psychosis among Metro City's homeless population continues to get worse, with massive riots breaking out across the city. And Condemned 2's story focuses on this narrative, as Ethan and Rosa continue their investigation as to who is behind all the madness in Metro City. As the story unfolds, Ethan and Rosa discover the source to all the troubles occurring in Metro City is being orchestrated by a secret cult-like organization known as the Oro. The cult was first hinted at in the final moments of Condemned criminal origins, but here it becomes the focal point.
It beats sticking around here.
The members of this cult use painful metal implants to develop sonic powers, as we've seen in the previous game. This allows them to influence and control the rest of humanity. And also throughout the game, the player will come across these sonic plate devices that are scattered around Metro. They emit a sonic frequency that is making everyone go insane. The player, however, can destroy these plates by throwing objects or weapons at them. But if the player gets too close to the sonic device, they will become disoriented and it will harm you. Ethan finds himself in an abandoned doll factory after he was separated from LaRue and Dorland, who basically left him for dead after the Preston Hotel evacuation. Ethan works his way through the factory, which is on fire. Here, Ethan will encounter a mini boss fight with the doll woman, who is highly insane and aggressive. She is encountered twice during this chapter, with the tougher fight being the part where Ethan has to throw exploding dolls at her while she is on a catwalk.
You scared the crap out of me, Ethan.
Where's your car?
Just down the street.
Good. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Rosa and Ethan meet up after Ethan escapes the doll factory. Rosa talks Ethan into coming with her to the SCU headquarters offices to look at some evidence she has on Van Horn's murder. Here it is revealed that Van Horn's vocal cords were removed, and that he and Ethan have similarities when looking at Ethan's x-rays from his prior investigation. Turns out that Van Horn has spent his life battling the Oro. It starts to become obvious that Ethan also has ties to the Oro, as later on it is revealed that Ethan's parents were members of the Oro and were killed for leaving the organization.
They're really quite amazing, and unlike anything I've ever seen before.
So he had a deformity?
Possibly. Does this look familiar?
It's an x-ray of my chest. You showed me this during the SKX investigation.
Right. And we noted it odd that your throat area was redacted. Or in layman's terms, blackened out.
I remember, but...
Why? Why is it classified as top secret? And why was the same done to Van Horn?
Van Horn? What do you mean?
His vocal cords are missing. They've been cut out.
He's a two-faced ass, if you ask me.
Well, there's certainly no love lost between you two. Now lie still. I'll be back shortly.
Rosa, I'm ready to get the fuck out of this thing. You still there?
After this, Rosa then attempts to perform a CAT scan style procedure on Ethan. But as this begins, Ethan begins to hallucinate.
Anybody here?
As he sees a reoccurring demonic figure who can be seen throughout the game to this point. This is what the game refers to as Ethan's alcohol demon. And Ethan will see visions of this being, as well as have a few run-ins as the game progresses. Ethan then awakens in the halls of the SCU headquarters, and this is when the game kicks up the horror elements. As Ethan explores the SCU headquarters, he will have extreme hallucinations, seeing objects move around, as well as seeing ghostly shadows scurrying about. This is my personal favorite area in the game, that being because the game actually starts to get creepy here. Many odd things occur during this chapter of the game.
Evacuating the building. We'll see if you can open it from your side. The magnetic locks didn't release when the power went out. Mr. Thomas, are you sure you're all right?
You're losing control, just like the others.
Damn it! Leave me alone!
Who the hell are you talking to?
Forget this man. He's already dead.
You're not real!
You're wasting time.
Mr. Thomas, who the fuck are you talking to?
I want to take a moment here to let you know that if you like content like this, I do more videos like this on my channel. You can subscribe for more videos like this, as well as follow me over on Instagram at McKiLL_TV for updates on upcoming videos, as well as updates on the channel.
Perhaps you're drinking.
My drinking is not an issue.
Yeah. 5 aspirins and a shot of soda water.
I don't think we...
Forget it.
Okay, let's begin. I'll be asking you questions regarding the recovery mission of Malcolm Van Horn.
After this, Ethan meets with Director Farrell as they discuss what happened when he became separated with Dorland after the Preston Hotel chapter. However, this discussion between Farrell and Ethan quickly heats up as Ethan demands Farrell tell him why he was recruited back to the SCU after the murder of Van Horn.
Why the risky mission?
It was important. We control the situation. Cooperation, Mr. Thomas. That's all I wanted.
Cooperation? Then what, kill me?
No, you've got it wrong.
You're lying! Why the order to leave me behind?
That order did not come from me. My orders were to keep you safe. I swear it.
Excuse me, Director? Sir, I've got Agent Dorland on the phone. He says it's important.
Yeah, put him through.
Is everything okay in there?
Yeah, just do it.
This is Dorland.
Agent, where the hell have you been?
Mayor Rachel Mars has been murdered.
What? Where?
She was found, well, most of her was found in the new museum downtown.
Ethan heads to the downtown museum where the corpse and remains of Mayor Rachel Mars has been discovered. And upon investigation, Ethan finds and discovers that his old nemesis from the previous game, known as Serial Killer X or SKX, is still alive after being nursed back to health by his uncle Malcolm Van Horn. Dorland and Farrell begin to act suspicious, as if they are hiding something. It is becoming more and more obvious that Dorland and Farrell are in cahoots with the Oro to some degree.
Keep your voice down.
Agent Thomas?
Mr. Thomas.
I found this on the body.
Mr. Thomas, take a look around. Dorland and I are heading back to the agency. Remember our discussion.
Ethan works his way through the museum as rioters and vandals have broken into the museum. Ethan will fight enemies in complete body armor that have picked up while looting the museum. Ethan will have to attack this enemy from behind.
You're looking more beat up every time I see you.
I think I overstayed my welcome.
I found something when investigating Van Horn's body.
Metal pieces?
No, something better. I found traces of fecal matter on his shoes. Let me finish. It belongs to an endangered deer species found only in the Black Lake region.
Like to find anything out here.
Ethan will then head to the Black Lake Lodge to look for evidence. Upon arriving, Ethan will come across many deceased bodies of SCU agents who have seemingly been attacked by an animal.
Definitely human in origin. I'm also detecting concentrations of
And after closer analysis, Rosa informs Ethan that the animal is rabid and infected with rabies. I have to say, this is one of the oddest moments in the game. As Ethan enters the lodge, he will hear the animal thrashing about and is confronted with a giant bear that is infected with rabies. It's a cool and unexpected moment in the game. As you can see, this bear will chase Ethan through the lodge until Ethan comes to a dead end, where he will find an injured SCU agent who then gives Ethan his gun. With his back against the wall, Ethan will have one shot. And as the bear breaks through the barricade, Ethan looks around and sees a shelf with propane tanks and decides this is the only chance to take out the vicious animal.
Now!
Lucky to be alive, Ethan finds himself outside the lodge. He wakes up and the bear is nowhere to be found. At this point, Ethan simply resumes his investigation of the Black Lake Lodge, where the rest of the level really drags out, and the game begins to focus more on first-person shooter action, which we won't show much of because this is one of the least interesting parts of the area of the game.
Are acting as if nothing is out of the ordinary, and Commissioner is here, and he and Dorlin are acting like old college buddies.
Rosa contacts Ethan shortly after this and tells him that they have found SKX, but Dorlin and his men won't let anyone near the bus where they have him captive. Soon after this, Ethan and LaRue arrive, and Ethan finds a way onto the bus and is once again face to face with his old nemesis, SKX.
Found who?
SKX, near the old bowling alley in Trenton. As wild as this may sound, SKX can help us. Speak to him. Ask him why all of this is happening.
If he's got something to say, I'll get it out of him.
In the bus. We need to act fast before they take him to SCU. I'll draw the 2 agents away while you sneak in.
What about the guy inside?
That's your call, but whatever you do, do it quietly.
I guess that's one way of sneaking onto the bus.
Why did you kill your uncle?
He refused to cooperate. He had it coming.
What about the mayor? Did you kill her for the same reason? Jesus!
How's the finger? Miss it? Do you think of me when you go to scratch? I think of you every time I look in the mirror.
Answer my question, you sick bastard, or the fingers you left me will wrap around your neck. Answer me!
Such power!
The Oro?
Of course, the Oro!
Why kill Van Horn and the mayor?
Their body is possessed. The Oro's secret. And it was necessary.
The Oro! Who are they? Where can I find them?
Out of here, pronto!
Rosa.
It is discovered that SKX, having learned about the Oro, now wants to harness their sonic powers for himself, and has been killing and dissecting Oro members to obtain this ability. Ethan begins to realize that the Oro is more powerful than he previously thought, and many of their members are high-ranking members of society, such as Mayor Rachel Mars, Director Farrell, and even Dorlin. Ethan begins to believe the Oro is controlling the SCU to some capacity. Dorlin and his tactical teams attempt to kill Ethan as he discovers this to keep their secret from getting out.
You're a fool if you don't see that.
When did the SCU employ murderers?
I take orders from the Oro, and so should he. Isn't that right? Get up! Finish the job! Kill him before he ruins everything!
Find the voice.
Over there!
What's this about? I thought you were on their side.
Shut up! Think of this as a future investment. Yes. I look forward to cutting you open. Learn your little secret. But now's not the time. Listen to me.
Even SKX, Ethan's nemesis, as we've seen, comes to his aid, telling Ethan to consider his help as a future investment, and tells Ethan to learn his little secret, which, as we've seen, as I mentioned earlier, is Ethan's voice. Ethan's vocal cords are unique and give him the ability to emit sonic blasts that will decapitate enemies, which Ethan will use more towards the end of the game, when he begins to go after the Oro directly.
It's who you are. Shut up. Go ahead. I said shut up!
At this point, the game's story has just become much more complicated, as it seems the developers were planning to have more entries into the Condemned series to tie up the story, with maybe a Condemned 3. But after more than a decade, nothing has been announced by Monolith or Sega as far as any future entries are concerned. Ethan then hunts down another lead, known as the Magic Man, who gives Ethan more information on the Oro's whereabouts. He tells Ethan to head to the peninsula, where the Oro are located.
The underground is abuzz, Mr. Thomas.
How do you know who I am?
Fear travels fast.
Start making some sense.
Rememdium, the remedy, was supposed to be a myth, a bedtime story. But now, you've made them think otherwise. The ideal body, perfectly tuned from birth, capable of resonating a sound so powerful it can destroy flesh and bone. It's what they fear most.
Are you a member of the Oro?
A sick, incestuous organization? No, not anymore. But I can tell you, they are on the verge of suffocating this city.
What?
Let's just say Big Brother is all grown up and hungry for power.
Where can I find them?
Oh, you don't know what you're asking. I can't. All right. The peninsula. The answers you want are there. A warning to the old, the young, and the weak at heart. It only gets more fantastical, more, dare I say, fucked up from here. Send my regards, Mr. Thomas.
Ethan soon finds himself heading towards Peninsula and discovers that the Oro fear his power known as the Remedy. This is when the game begins to come to a close. The final fight of the game will have Ethan face off with Oro members.
I thought I killed you.
As well as the final battle with Dorlin. Ethan will have to use his newly found power known as the Remedy to take out Dorlin in the final fight.
Of what? That I'm a freak? That I'm slowly losing it?
To some degree, yes.
My goal in these retrospective style videos is to look back on great games and to bring them back into the spotlight as we discuss things like the overall story and narrative, as well as reception to the game, while also comparing them to their previous titles.
The voice, the remedy, the one.
My own personal feeling is that Condemned 2 is a really good game, and I'm sure most everyone has had a chance to play this game at this point. My personal thoughts on this game are that the game overall is pretty good.
Acceptance, Ethan.
I have fond memories of, but when I compare this game to the previous Condemned title, for me it falls short. Now, this isn't the majority opinion, as mostly everyone else considers this to be the best condemned game. But personally, I enjoyed the first game more for some reason. Yes, here the story is better, and graphically it looks way better. Game plan is an overall improvement. But I like the simplicity of the original game. But overall, that's not a knock on this game, because I did really enjoy both games in this series, which is why I wanted to cover both of them. The one knock I have on the series as a whole is the lackluster ending to both games in the series. Both games leave the player wanting more, as they fail to really wrap up the game's main storylines. At least this is my opinion.
What the hell did you do? Forget Dorlin! Get out of there!
Anyways, if you like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to see more videos just like this, don't forget to subscribe, as I post more retrospective videos just like this. Until next time, this has been McKiLL TV's Condemned 2 Bloodshot, a retrospective.
Ethan, please listen to me. You need to get off that thing before it collapses.
You're a fool.
Shut up. What are the Oro's motives?
To create hostility. The unwavering desire to fight. To unknowingly become protectors.
Protectors from what?
Tell me.
You don't know, do you? Christ, you're the fool. A puppet like everyone else.
Now, Ethan! Grab the ladder now!
Get the fuck off me!
Enjoy the scenic route, asshole!
Cutting it a bit close, wouldn't you say? Well, you made it. That's the important thing. Anyway, the you-know-what has really hit the fan. You've uncovered something big, and I suspect over the next few weeks more will be weeded out. Good thing, too. Some really influential people belong to the Oro.
Hey, buddy. Soon as they fix that leg up, let's say you and I go get a drink.
I don't think so, LaRue.
Right on. Hey, man. Call me Pierce. My friends call me Pierce.
What I need is some sleep.
Mr. President, what about the increase in violence? It appears to be a national problem.
We're looking into the issue. We're also supporting all local agencies in their efforts to... Oh, excuse me for a moment.